We back and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J Lake. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J Lake.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.
Welcome back to the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast for the first edition of season 6. We're a podcast for Austin, from Austin. I'm Trotwood Zeus, the host of the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast. And today, I'm excited to introduce someone whose work is stitched into the very fabric of this city, literally. Our guest is a born and raised Austinite, a creative visionary, and a true culture connector. He's the founder of not one, but 2 standout clothing brands, AOG and 2 Cranez. His latest drop, the Moving On collection, released this past June, has been making waves, not just for its bold visuals, but for the deeper message behind it. Whether he's vending at shows, collaborating with some of the city's most talented artists, or crafting collections that tell real stories, Rahim Adeigbe is doing the work. He's doing it for Austin, from Austin. Rahim, man, welcome to the 2-Hour Lunch Break, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I really appreciate that intro.
Yeah, man, gotta do it up, man. You know, it's the first season, season 6. Got a special guest, man. You know, I gotta bring you in the right way. You know what I mean?
That was great. Yeah, I'll come on the podcast just for that.
For real, yeah. But man, so let's go ahead and like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. We were talking, beforehand. You fresh off of work, stuff like that. So I appreciate you, pulling up on us, chop it up, and talk about the story, talk about the brands and everything like that, man. So let's go ahead and get to it, right? Let's talk about your background. Yeah. Right. So you're one of the rare, native Austinites at this point, right? You know how the city is, right?
Right.
So. Talk about your background. What was it like, growing up in the city, and how was growing up here, kind of shaped your creative journey?
Yeah, well, I mean, being in Austin, my mom isn't from Austin, neither is my dad. Okay. So they moved here, and they met when they were young. Well, my mom was kind of young, and my dad is an immigrant. He's from Nigeria. My mom is a product of 2 immigrants, Korean and Italian. Okay. So we were really not exposed to the city as far as just regular Austinites and what they would normally do. Right. But the creativity was through just making it happen for us, Gotcha. Mom, single mom, lived with my aunt and my mom, and they were both single moms. So we saw them put together, use little to nothing to get us by and get us through and make us happy. So the creativity that they showed us really inspired the creativity that I have today. Yeah. Okay, so question for you, bro. I know we're talking about your background. I was doing some research on you, right? And I think there was another interview you had done a while back. And there was a story where you were talking about in like 2014, you got your camera stolen, something like that. And that was kind of like, what kind of kicked off you get into fashion, man. Talk about that. How did that, what was that story, and how did that translate into you starting Joints of Rahim and OAG? Bro,
AOG.
Good, yeah, good research. So Joints by Rahim was already created. I was doing video and photography under Joints by Rahim. Okay. When I created the brand name Joints by Rahim, I just knew I wanted to produce and put things out. So I made it a name that I can just put things out under, right? So the videos were Joints and the photography, those were Joints as well. So, bro, I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up to drop my price list. I'm gearing up to take off with the camera stuff. Right. That's what was going on. It was a few days before New Year's. I'm out shooting with my boy. We rode the train for the first time downtown, and we were shooting all day. Okay. So I had my camera on me. I didn't really have nowhere to really put it. So we went from daytime to nighttime. Okay. And we out on 6th Street. Boom, boom, boom. Wake up in the morning, and the camera is nowhere to be found.
Ooh, somebody got you.
Somebody got me. Okay, so I started a GoFundMe. I was crushed.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I was hurt. I'm like, bro, I'm just now starting. Yeah, I'm just now starting to feel comfortable to charge my services.
Right.
I ain't been making money off my craft yet. I'm here. I'm ready to do it. Camera stolen. Started GoFundMe to get that camera back.
Okay.
It didn't bring in enough to even buy the lens. So I took that money and was like, I need to do another fundraiser so where people are actually getting something out of it. Maybe I'll raise enough money to get my camera back.
Okay.
That fundraiser was what I call AOG 1, the first snapback that I ever put out.
Okay, yeah, the original. Okay.
Yeah, the original, the first AOG. So I had a sample, I placed the order, and friends and family through text messages, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Can y'all support me? And mama, grandma, auntie, cousin, brother, sister, friends, they all bought them.
Okay.
And I was able to get the rest of the hats out because the money that I raised in the GoFundMe was just a deposit. And the sales that I made before I picked up the hats allowed me to get the rest of the hats.
Okay.
So I picked those up. I flipped the money. I picked the hats up, and I sold 50 hats in 9 days.
Damn.
So that was what let me know that, hey, maybe I can just do this.
Okay. And I ain't gonna lie, dog. Like, I remember when those hats first dropped, bro. Nigga, they had the city going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think I actually, I don't know if I got the first one. I think I got the second one. I got two of the second ones. I got the black one, and then I got a red. They both dad hats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fam.
Yeah.
And I still, every now and again, I still pull them out.
Hey,
and that was, that was damn near 10 years ago.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely did your thing with that first batch, man.
Thank you, bro.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Two Cranes and the Moving On collection, right? So I know we were talking off air about the theme, and I know it kind of has a bit of like a U-Haul type of aesthetic. Talk about that. What was the inspiration behind that, and what caused you to use that theme, and what's the story behind it for you?
Sure. I mean, I get my inspiration from just walking around with my eyes open, just looking, taking in things. I saw a U-Haul truck some time ago with some cranes on it. I was like, okay, I like that. It had like 3 or 4 cranes, and I thought maybe I could do something with it. And this was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I started drawing some things. I started putting some ideas together, but really it wasn't original enough for me. So I started to find another way to utilize it.
Okay.
With my life, I kind of shift my focus from creating to just other aspects of life. And when doing that, like, I'm a creative person.
Right.
And I learned that if I'm not doing my passion, if I'm not creating, I'm not as happy. I'm not my best self.
Got it.
Right. So I went through some ups and downs in change of focus. And by the time I got back to creating again, I had developed the idea of moving on. So I took the cranes, really got me intrigued because, the U-Haul, they have the art. They have so much art on those trucks, right?
Right.
And I love the art, but I was like, that's not my art. So I got to do something else.
Okay.
And Two Cranes is a personal growth brand.
Okay.
So the Two Cranes brand itself started from being inspired by the growth of the city, the cranes in the sky.
Right.
And instead of attacking or approaching it from the growth of the city, I wanted to attach my brand to personal growth.
Gotcha.
So one crane, construction crane, stands for destruction of negativity in your life, destructing negative thoughts, habits, routines, and relationships.
Okay.
The other crane stands for construction of positivity in your life.
Gotcha.
So creating and constructing new and positive thoughts, habits, routines, and relationships. And with both of those cranes and both of those elements, you have a chance at personal growth.
Okay.
So I put out different collections with that in mind. And the Two-Haul.
Okay.
Moving on.
Right.
So when you move, just like anybody, when you move, you go through all the stuff that you have, right? Some things are still in the box from the last move. Some things you about to pack up, you're like, do I really even need this? Does this do anything for me? So in a personal growth aspect, you have a chance to reflect on the things that are helping you grow and the things that are really holding you back.
Got it.
Right? So the slogan for the collection is, if it ain't growing, it ain't going.
Ah, that's hard. I like that. I like that.
So with all those elements put into it, that's the basis of the design.
Okay. So what's the I know it dropped June 14th.
Right.
Right. What's the response been like since it, once it finally went live?
Well, I mean, this is my first time doing pre-orders.
Okay.
I did pre-orders for about a month,
Yeah.
and I got 51 pre-orders.
Okay.
Which, first time, didn't have really any expectations. I was really happy with that.
Yeah.
And then we had the drop here at Dawa Studios.
Right.
The release event, and I had a good response. I had a really good response. People came to pick up their pre-orders. People came to buy. People came to hang out, vibe out. We had a DJ Prissy P.
Okay.
And I had Bloom Fitness, another clothing brand. It's a clothing brand for women's fitness.
Got it.
They were here, so it was just good vibes. And then this past weekend, I did a pop-up at Kicking It,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that, the Entrepreneur's Corner, and that was great too. I had another good turnout. The homies came, their regular foot traffic was in there, got a lot of good responses. I was able to tell the story, and got some people that I don't even know that became customers of mine. So it's been a really good response so far.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I mean, we was talking before we even got started. I was like, dog, you gotta save me a 2X. If you got a 2X in stock, bro, you gotta put it to the side for me or something. I'm a cop something up off of you.
Yeah.
Before we get done. You know.
We're gonna make it happen.
But yeah, kind of going back to Two Cranes though. Like I like the the philosophy of deconstructing negativity and constructing positivity. But kind of building on that though, right? Like which of the Two Cranes have you kind of been like leaning into lately in your own life though?
Well, I've been constructing a lot of positivity.
Okay.
I've been more focused on that, but at the same time, when you add things, if you just add in sweetness on top of shit, the shit is still there.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
So you got to get rid of some of that.
Yeah.
Right? So the destruction that I've been doing to help my growth is procrastinating. Freestyling my schedule.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that.
Okay.
I'm setting my schedule, and the things that I put on my calendar are the things that I want to do.
Gotcha.
So when it comes up, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah, that is one thing that I've really focused on, and it's helped me a lot. I'm more intentional with my time. I'm more dedicated with my decisions, and it's been having a positive effect on me for sure.
Got it. Okay. So I know, earlier I know you were talking about when you first started the AOG brand and the Joints of Rahim brand, it was really family oriented, right? What's their thoughts on, because originally I know you were, doing photography, stuff like that, video production. What was their thoughts when you made the switch into fashion? Like, what did they think about it?
Well, funny enough, that wasn't my first time doing clothing.
Okay.
So my first brand that I ever started I was a junior in high school, and I started with my brother. We're technically cousins, but that's my brother Jonathan,
right?
Also known as Karim, the poet. So we were in high school and we started a clothing brand, and we started with iron-on designs, patches, going to Hobby Lobby, and we dropped shirts for Christmas, Martin Luther King Day, Black History Month.
I like that.
And it was really just us doing our thing, right? And then people were like, you should do something.
Right.
So we came up with the logo and a brand name, and the brand name was Prolific.
Okay.
Right? So this was 2003, 2004.
Right, yeah. So you're not new to this. You're true to this.
Exactly. Exactly. So my mom, my aunt, my family, they were like, oh, this is good. Keep that going.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a supportive family. They're going to support me no matter what I do.
Right.
So the reaction from them was positive. And, I mean, my mama bought a hat at full price. So that's a baseline. Like, not really too many discounts going out.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So I know you were talking about your first real clothing line. It was kind of like a collab with your cousin, right? So let's lean into that a little bit more. So I know you work with a bunch of different local artists. I know Jake Lloyd, Alicia Lani, Tone Royal, and just to name a few. How has community collaboration helped the brand grow?
Bro, I would say it's the best tool that I've used to grow my brand. Like we was mentioning right before we started, is collaboration, it introduced one market to another market. Two audiences come together. There's an overlap. Obviously, there's something in between the two brands that creates the collaboration. So it's probably the best tool that I have is collaborating. And at this point, I am being a little bit more deliberate, but like the people you just mentioned, these are people that I've known for a long time. So long-time friends that are still doing their thing. So these collaborations come pretty organically. So I'm going to tap back into that, and then I want to expand as well.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. Like, what do you look for in like a partner for like a project? And also, is there anybody that you have in mind for like any potential future collaborations?
Well, what I look for is literally I'll look at the person's brand or the artist's brand or whatever, and I see if I can find anything that connects us. An idea that I might already have that might just take off a little bit more and make more sense if I did it with somebody else.
Gotcha.
Because I have my two brands, and I feel like a collaboration is an opportunity to step out and do something new. Introduce something new that may not fit within my couple of brands that I have. So that's what I look for. I want to do a collaboration with Jay Soulja.
Hey, shout out Jay Soulja.
Yeah, shout out Jay Soulja. We have collaborated on promotion before.
Yeah.
We did the Do Better Jay Soulja music video with Two Cranez.
Okay.
As you can, Do Better, the title of the song.
Right.
And Two Cranez is a personal growth brand, which is always trying to do better, be better, and evolve. And we got something cooking on that end.
Okay.
Another music video. But I want to do some merch collaborations with Jay Soulja. I want to collaborate with Mama Duke.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. She's been popping lately.
Mama Duke been popping.
Yeah.
Mama Duke been popping lately. Mama Duke been popping for some time.
Right.
So it's just now that people are catching on. But yeah, we've had talks about doing some collaborations in the past. So to bring that full circle would be good.
Okay.
My first collaboration that I'm going to do since relaunching is going to be with Black Child.
Okay, yeah. Shout out Black Child.
Black Child and MDK, which is Minds of a Different Kind, the rap group she's a part of.
Got it.
So we got something in the works there. But other collaborations, I want to do like local brands. I want to do a collaboration with Hilbert's.
Yeah. Hey, the wings go crazy.
Hey,
for real, and the onion rings.
I get the double cheeseburger.
Yeah,
chocolate shake. So
yeah.
I'm trying to. I got some ideas.
Okay.
Basically, I want to redesign or they don't have a uniform.
Yeah, they just got the yellow building, and they be in there just real normal.
Really though.
For real.
That's how Austin Staple. My mom put me on. She used to be a nurse, and they used to deliver food in the box just to all the nurses at night, during the day, whatever. So the stories she used to tell me about them, and I've loved it ever since I first tried it. I'd like to do an employee uniform design that also doubles as merch.
That would be hard.
And then have an AOG combo on the menu. They don't have any combos, so
gotcha.
That's something that I'm shooting for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, I was gonna say, while we talking collaborations, if you want to throw a 2-hour lunch break in the ring, just putting a bug in your ear for future reference. All right. Hey, we game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm with it.
But kind of back on topic, bro. So I know we were talking about being an Austin native, and you've got a chance to see a lot of the changes that the city has gone through. Rapid growth, new energy. Even there's been some displacement too. On top of that, how do you see both of your brands serving or preserving the spirit of what we think of the city, like a Keep Austin Weird type of vibe? Like, how do you see those brands serving that cause?
Well, the AOG is Austinite OGs, also known as Original Austinites. That brand right there, I'm really focused on highlighting not only just the people from Austin, but Austin has been a melting pot for a long time.
Right.
Austin has been a place where people go to better themselves, to feel like a part of something. They keep Austin weird. It's weird because there's so many people here from different places. That's always been a thing.
Gotcha.
So I want to highlight the brands and the businesses and the people that have been here for a long time, but also the people that really do support Austin.
Yeah.
You know, to come here and be a part of it versus to come here and take advantage of it.
Right.
Those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So AOG is one thing that I'm really focused on doing that, highlighting that, bringing in a lot of brands, people, and markets together, right? The two cranes, honestly, you know, when you say displacement, it's tied to the gentrification that was going on. And when I was looking around trying to create a brand that wasn't just Austin, I'm in Austin trying to figure out what am I going to do.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the growth of the city. The growth of the city goes hand in hand with displacement and gentrification. So it's a you know, an emotional topic. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to flip the growth into something that we could all get behind. Okay. You know, which is the personal growth. We could always try to improve ourselves day to day, every day, people around you, you know, friends, family, and all that. So to make it come back around and maybe tie it to another organization, do a collaboration with somebody that is really tackling and fighting on the forefront of those issues, I think that's how the two cranes can highlight some of that.
I like that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So I know we were talking about AOG a minute ago. You actually got a big milestone coming up, the 10-year anniversary, right? I think the anniversary is in November, December, something like that. What can you tell us about any upcoming collections, you know, with AOG for the 10-year anniversary?
Well, things are evolving. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Okay. So there's going to be an AOG 10-year anniversary design. That's going to be a hat release. Okay. I'm bringing back the AOG 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The AOG 1.
Okay.
And I'm going to have it elevated. The production, the manufacturing of that, I'm going to elevate that. And that's going to be a special one. Okay. And I got a couple other things in the works.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do a little storytelling, present a timeline, let people know, because I haven't put out anything in a couple years. And I just want to let the people know what's going on. Okay, I like that. I was going to say, how do you feel that AOG has evolved since that first original Austinite hat, original Austinite hat that you had to now? I feel like, you know, it's become something that people notice, something that people know and recognize. You know, it's brought people together. I've heard so many stories of people wearing their hat in the airport and somebody coming up to them and saying, "Hey, I know that person."
Bro,
or
I've had that happen a bunch of times, dog. Like, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So it represents a certain time, but it also represents a certain connection to the city. You know, it's not the same as other hats or brands that have Austin on it. You know, so I think now there's a sense of pride behind it, and I love that. You know, people take pride in what I put out.
Gotcha.
And it's got its own identity without me now. So I'm happy to say that, and I just want to bring it back and show the people that we still here, we're still doing it, and just take it to the next level. Okay. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, so with so many transplants, you know, calling Austin home now, do you think the idea of original Austinite has changed in its meaning in any kind of way?
When I put it, it's changed for me for sure.
Okay.
So when I first put it out, I was working in the service industry. I was a server. I'm seeing so many people a day. I'm meeting a lot of people, talking to them. And when people would ask me where I'm from, I'm in a bubble. I'm just going to work. So they ask me where I'm from. I say, I'm from Austin. And they'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you might have been from California. I didn't know what they meant by that. I thought they meant like my accent or the way I held myself or something. And it took a while for it to hit me that there's not that many of us here. So that's why I originally created it, because I was like, this is a market. I know there's people here from Austin, so let me do it like that, right? And we're going to take pride in that. But honestly, after a few years, it evolved to Austin is a place you can be your original self. That's how I felt. People come here, they feel comfortable here, they feel at home here. You can be yourself here. So It evolved from just being like, we from Austin, and it's still that. But also, if you support Austin, if you feel like Austin is a place that you belong the whole time, it's for you too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel.
Got it. So kind of going back to the topic of the moving on collection, right? So what's something that you've had to move on from recently? Like whether it be like, you know, in business or personally that's helped you grow?
Yeah. Well, it was you know, I had a struggle. I was trying to, you know, build a family. I was trying to build a relationship. I was trying to focus on other things other than my brand and just being creative.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
So I took the time to do that, and it took me way out of where I wanted to be.
Got you off your square a little bit.
Got me way off.
Okay.
To where I was like, oh, okay, I'm taking a break.
Right.
We'll just call it a break.
Got it.
Right? And then I was like, all right, I'm done with this break. Let's get back to it. But the break wasn't done with me. So I couldn't just jump back into it.
Right.
My mind wasn't right. My heart, I wasn't able to get into it, right?
Okay.
So, and with that being said, the original design or the original idea wasn't what we have today for the Moving On collection.
Okay.
It was something about U-Haul, something about the cranes on the truck, and going through that struggle, I realized that, you know, this needs to be about moving on, right? So I got back to it. I reconciled a relationship that helped me get the design where I wanted it to be.
Okay.
And that was a part of moving on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Saying this really isn't working for me. Me not being able to speak freely about my creativeness, I need to move on from that. Right. I need to move on from the relationship that I was out of. I was not myself for about a year after the relationship. That's a long time.
Right. Yeah.
So I was moving on from those things. You know what I'm saying? And then following my passion, I know what's meant for me will find me if I'm doing the things that I know I'm supposed to do.
Gotcha.
So I moved on, and I'm just happy. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk work-life balance, right? So I know you got both brands. I know you got you know, your regular 9 to 5 outside of that. With all of those different things going on, all those different pots on the stove, right? Like how do you decompress from all that? Like how do you get away? What do you do to recharge, to like, you know, kind of, you know, take some self-care?
Yeah.
Like what do you do? What does that look like?
So I recently flipped a switch, and I started just doing stuff for myself.
Okay.
You know, I'm big on family time, friends, and friend time, but touching back on setting my own schedule, putting things on the calendar that's for me, putting my money on my happiness, you know, in the brand, but on my happiness too.
Yeah.
I have to. I don't even feel like it's a chore anymore. I'm doing the things that I want to do. I'm working so I can do the things I want to do.
Gotcha.
I do Uber as well, so I can have the extra money so that I can feel good about doing the things I want to do.
Right.
You know, it's really that. It's those pockets of time that you schedule something for yourself and you go do it. And I'm doing it all the way. You know, if I'm gonna go to the movies, I'm going to the movies. I'm getting popcorn, ice cream. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the seat there, relax.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the whole thing. If I fall asleep, that was great. You know, so I'm leaning into the things that make me happy, and creating makes me happy. Seeing my people, supporting the community, that stuff really makes me happy.
Yeah.
So that's the balance right there, man. So I work pretty hard during the week, and then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm pulling up to support something. I'm going to go see something. I'm doing something for myself. So
okay. So you've been in the creative space for a long time now. I know we talked about the AOG brand being 10 years old. I know you talked about your original brand, Prolific. You did it in 03, right? So you've done decades of, you know, creative things at this point. With all of that said, all that time put in, what advice would you give to you know, the younger creatives, the up and comers that are trying to start, you know, their own thing, you know, in a city that's constantly changing? Like, what advice would you give to a young Rahim from, you know, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I would say just keep going. That's obvious, right? You got to keep going. But the way to keep going is to not listen to the negative thoughts that you have about the expectations you had. You know, expectations are good. It allows you to work hard and have something to look forward to, but it can't be so much to where if you don't meet those expectations, you just stop. And the internet is a great place to get inspiration, but it can also be the thing that, you know, makes you feel like you're not doing enough, right?
Right, yeah.
Be where you are, do what you can, and then the other thing I would say is my next shit is my best shit. You got to put that shit out.
Yeah.
Because once you do, you get the reaction, you get the feedback, you know this is a finished product, even if you wanted it to be, you know, the best thing in the world. Once you let that thing go, the next thing that you put out is going to be better than that.
Gotcha.
It's always going to be better. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I live by for sure. My next shit is my best shit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Well, let's shift gears a little bit, right? I know we did the Q&A, but let's hit you with some this or that questions, man. Some rapid fire questions. So we hit you this or that, and then you give your answer and tell us why you gave the answer that you gave.
Cool.
All right. Okay. Let's get to it. Okay. Question number 1. U-Haul orange or the original Austinite black?
I'm going to go with the OG black.
Keep it classic.
Keep it
classic.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Let's go designing something solo or collaborating with a crew.
I'm going to go solo. Designing solo. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Late night edits or early morning brainstorming?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Early morning brainstorming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Local showcase or out of town pop up?
For my brand?
Yeah.
Local showcase. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do something foodie. Let's do ATX tacos or ATX barbecue?
ATX tacos.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's do music video shoot or a pop up at like a market day.
I'll do a pop up at a market day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's go. I got something for you. OG hat or a Crane logo tee?
It's the OG hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do design by hand or a digital mock-up?
Design by hand.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Now, I think I got one that might stump you. I think we hit everybody with at least one that gets them. Okay. East Side nostalgia or New Austin growth?
That's a good one.
We usually get everybody at least once.
Bro, that's a good one. If you'd have asked me this a few months ago, I'd have said East Side nostalgia. But today, sitting here now, Austin new growth.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Nice rapid fire. Okay. Well, let's now that we got that done, man, let's hit you with the final question of the night. And we actually talked about this off air.
Yeah.
So, we got a chance to chop it up, talk about the brand, have some good vibes, good fellowship, everything like that. Now, with that said, who do you think will be a good guest for the podcast in the future? But before you answer, this has to be somebody that's like in your phone that you can hit up, be like, hey, I chopped it up with Zeus on the 12 lunch break. I had a ball. Who would that person or people be? Now, you can recommend as many as you want. You don't have to be just one. Now, if you got multiple, that's cool. That works for me.
Yeah. Well, so you asked me this question the first time I was on the show. I don't know what season that was.
Right.
But I have the same answer.
Okay.
It's going to be Jake Lloyd, but it's Ghetto Gala because that's Jake Lloyd and Diesel Brown.
Yeah.
And DS2. So
okay.
That's who Ghetto Gala is.
Okay.
My second answer is going to be Black Child.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can hit them up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, hey, tap them in with us. We line that up.
Pull up.
For real.
Yeah.
So okay. I was gonna say, bro, before we wrap up, man, let's plug your socials, your websites. Where can everybody find you, and where can everybody find AOG and Joints of Rahim?
All right. So Instagram, Joints by Rahim is Joints X Rahim, RAHIM. Website, online store, same. jointsxrahim.com. Those are my two main platforms. And signing up to the email subscription will be the best, so you know when the next pre-order is. So if you need a 2X, a 3X, you need an extra small, them things don't usually come out. But if you pre-order it, I'm going to have it for you.
There we go. All right. All right, man. Well, that wraps up this edition of the 2 Hour Lunch Break, man. Once again, shout out to the homie Rahim for tapping in with us, taking the time out to kick it. Shout out to our production behind the boards. You can find them on Instagram at Cafe Yodo. New episodes of the 2 Hour Lunch Break are streaming on all DSPs every Thursday, and you can find us on Instagram at 2HLB Pod and on X at the 2 Hour Lunch. Thank you for tuning in. We out.
And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.